Yeah.
But look, I found this cushion. I thought I might. It's
I
gonna
I
mean, I do like gin. Oh, look, and you've got your napkin. Yeah.
Hooray. All right. We are on YouTube.
No, I do like gin.
Right. I'm admitting everybody, and then I will just tell everybody how things are going to work before we officially start the show.
We will be on YouTube, yeah?
Yeah, we are. I checked. That's the reason that was just holding things up. I was just making sure that we were, and we are.
And Facebook, yeah?
Yeah. We're on Facebook now. Hello, everybody. This is me talking to you before we start the show, and we are missing one of our guests. Guest Michael. If you are masquerading as somebody else, if you're using maybe your better half's internet connection and you're named not Michael Lumsden, please make yourself known, sir, because I might look calm here, but I'm panicking. Where is Michael Lumsden? Where is Alistair the vet? Don't know. Can't see him. So if you are Alistair the vet, if you are Michael Lumsden, please make yourself known by unmuting yourself and saying, "Oi, mush, I'm here." Folks, this is going to be a little bit of an experiment. This is going to be a regular DumTeeDum with our irregular special ops team. It's the special ops team of Rosie McGlynn and Quentin Rayner, and we're going to go through the general kind of format. We are live on Facebook and on the YouTubes, and hopefully we'll just have a right royal bit of a laugh, really, whilst learning loads about what's going on in the Archers. Now, I'm busy admitting people like there's nobody's business here. There's a ton of you. So if things go wrong, don't blame me. I'm trying my best, but I am shambolic at the best of times. This is going to be the show. Oh, we're going to do 1 hour, fundamentally straight DumTeeDum, and then we're going to have the talent show. Here we go, folks.
This podcast is a Royfield Brown production. Find others on iTunes.
All right. Here I know.
This is DumTeeDum, sponsored by managers.
This is DumTeeDum, the show about the reality docudrama that is centered on Ambridge in the heart of the Midlands. I'm the 350th edition, who also goes by the name of Royfield Brown. And crumbs, I haven't got my script at all. Let's move it up. And with me, I have the debutant of the ball, who is
Rosie Porty.
And we're also joined by the squire of the ball, who goes by the name of
Quentin Rayner.
Now, because it's party time, we have the company of, it says here on my script, 2 of Ambridge's most famous party people, but at the moment we only have 1. So we have the drinker supreme, who goes by the name of
Sunny Ormond, Lillian Bellamy.
And let's hope, folks, that before we get to the end of the show, we actually have Michael Lumsden, aka that Shula free party animal, Alistair the vet. Now, the last part of this week's party, folks, is of course you, the good ranks, the mass DumTeeDummers, or shall we call you the Zoomeriners this week. Now, this week's DumTeeDum is from Jenny from Southampton. Now, Rosie, if somebody would like to send us in a DumTeeDum, how can that be done?
If you'd like to sing us a DumTeeDum or leave us a pop prediction, then call us on 0203 031 3105. Leave us a message on SpeakPipe even. I've only had half a gin. Or send us a text message starting with dum to 077 86 200690.
I've got a confession to make, because deep down I've always wanted to be Kerry Warbis. I think it's the fabulous red hair, but I get to say what she always says on the DumTeeDum podcast. So I get to say thanks to our social media supremos dotted around cyberspace, Cosmo for his podcast roundups, Mike Hatton for his character counts, Shambridge, of course, for her voices and her sniffs, and last but not least, Lucy V. Freeman.
So this is DumTeeDum Talent Show to celebrate our 350th episode.
Now, after today's show, we will be heading into what Royfield calls our cocktail hour, beggars belief, I suppose, with our DumTeeDum Talent Show. Now, if you fancy singing a song, playing an instrument, performing a poem, perhaps announcing a vaccine for COVID, whatever talent you have, there will be a prize for the best and worst act. So don't feel shy, just feel very afraid. Now, we just ask that it is a maximum, please, we beg you, of no more than 2 minutes.
Now, folks, we are live on Zoom, and so there are actually no caller in us. So after our chat with our esteemed guests, or probably guests looking at the way things are going, you can ask a question via Zoom, make a plot prediction, or comment on this week's action in Ambridge. But first, before all that, it is our hard-hitting interview of the week.
And then there was silence.
Is there some music?
Did you hear that? Was there music?
There was no music, Royfield.
Oh
There was
dear.
no-
All right. Well, I'll put that in the edit. We'll put that in the edit. We'll fix that. Right. Hard-hitting interview of the week. Sunny,
Yes,
you're becoming somewhat of a regular on the old DumTeeDums now, aren't you?
that's great. Thank you for inviting me. It's lovely. Thank you.
Well, it's only taken you 6 years, and now we literally can't get you off. We love you that much.
Oh, well, that's lovely. That's great. Thank you.
I suppose the first things that we have to ask you is, you guys are back at the mailbox. How is it? How's the social distancing working? How's it feel back to see the cast?
It's fantastic. I mean, it's great. Obviously, we do have the social distancing. It's not as it was pre-COVID, and health and safety is absolutely paramount. But it's just great to be back in studio, just physically in each other's company, as much as anything. Studio is very, very different now. I mean, when you can't, for one thing, we cannot touch anything at all, because if any of us touch anything, then obviously, it all has to be sanitized and so on. So it's just one person in studio that can touch anything. When you get into studio, of course, we have markings all around the studio where we can walk, where we can't walk. Each actor has their own microphone now. Times past you'd all share the same microphone in whatever location that you were in, but we each now have our own microphone. So we're kind of alongside each other, 2 meter distance. And if we have, for instance, supposedly have a glass of gin, as my character may have, we need to bring our own glass with us, because the spot person can't touch all that. Yes, gin. Yeah, thank you very much. And so any props like that, we have to bring ourselves for safety's sake. We have the producer now with us in studio. Before, the producer was always in the cubicle where the episodes are recorded, but because of all the restrictions, only 2 people now are allowed in the studio, and that's the studio manager who's actually recording the program, and also the person on Grams who's doing the sound effects. So the producer therefore is with us on the floor, 2 meters distance, of course, but actually it's quite nice having the producer there with you in studio. And as I understand it, I think there's only about 3 or 4 actors can be in a scene. I've only done 2-handers thus far, and our girl who, well, it's Ness actually, can girl or boy, but in this instance it's Ness who does all the sound effects in studio with us, the spot person. She normally used to be by our sides, you know, doing all the sound effects. If I was reading a newspaper, she'd be there, you know, opening the newspaper. But she's now in another area of the studio on her own separate microphone. So yeah, I mean, it's a very different experience, but it's just lovely to be back there. And whereas before we used to have a read through of each episode before we recorded it, now we do all those read throughs on Zoom, just as we're having Zoom now. We have all the read-throughs on Zoom, so that when we actually get into the mailbox, it's only those scenes that we are in that we're actually involved in. So they try and keep as few people around as possible. So you don't get the full company feel in a way. You do on Zoom when we do our read-throughs, which is lovely. But no, it's all very highly organised, and one feels very safe. I have to say, really, really safe. In fact, I'm going to record again at the end of the month, and so really looking forward to that very much.
I was going to ask Sunny, in terms of, so actors are notoriously touchy-feely. So how are you preventing yourself from launching yourself at your lovely colleagues who you've missed? And so when you were pouring that bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon down Alicia's throat the other day, how did you prevent yourself from giving her a big cuddle? It must be really hard.
It is. Obviously, it is. I mean, yes, you're right there, Rosie, because we were Holly and I 2 meters apart when we did it, and of course, you know, you heard the wine being poured into the glass, and that was Ness, who was our spot person, doing it in the other area of the studio. And it's interesting you say that, because when we did the read through on Zoom, I did say to the producer, being mindful of the fact we had to bring our own props, do you want to hear us drinking, or me drinking this? Do I need to bring my own wine glass? And they said, no, to be fine, we'll just have Ness pouring it. But yeah, it is, it is tricky, because that's your instinct, particularly when you haven't seen people for such a long time as obviously we haven't. It's very strange. And it's just also very strange, that you can't, when you go into studio, you can't touch anything. Even getting into studio, your instinct is to open the door. Oh, you can't do that, So everything is kind of done for you in that respect. And even your own chairs, you have your own, you've got all sorts of different types of chairs in studio, but we're now just using plastic chairs because obviously they're easier to sanitize, but we each have our own.
Enjoy Sunny Quentin acting as your butler or maitre d' in this environment, because he's so suave and charming, and his natural instinct is obviously to open the door for ladies anyway. So maybe there's kind of a role for you. I mean, and you're only down the road in Nottingham.
Yeah, I'm naturally servile, Rosie, very servile. Yeah.
I mean, I'll put in a word for you if you like, Quentin. I mean, it would be marvellous.
That would be a dream come true, I'm telling you, Sunny.
As long as you wear that shirt. I
will. I mean, on the sound effects thing, Sunny, I mean, obviously a lot of conception is going on in the Archers at the moment.
Conception. Yes,
conception, yeah, that sort of conception. What do you do, if more babies are going to be made, if I may use that euphemism, I mean, what will you do for the sound effect of kissing?
Well, we can do our own kissing, That's what we actually do normally.
Show us.
Well,
what do you do?
If I was doing a scene with you, Quentin, right?
Yeah.
We would in normal times.
Method acting. If you had Quentin in front of you, method acting all the way. Come on, Sunny.
It might be a short scene as well.
But normally we'd be around a mic. But obviously in this situation, you would be 2 meters apart from me.
Yes.
And we're doing all the lovey-dovey, lovely. And then one of us would elect to do the kissing. And so say it was me, I would elect to do the kissing. So then I would take my the hand like that, and I would just go do this into the microphone. And that's it. And that's the way we kiss.
Crept a bit hot under the collar there, I think.
Because actually, believe it or not, if you do try and physically kiss on mic, the scripts are in the way, so they'll all that goes on, but also you just don't get the right sound through because the sound is going that way instead of the microphone. Do you know what I mean? So that's why it's great fun. That's what we do. So you see, it won't be a problem if you have all these babies that we've got to kiss.
It wouldn't be, no. But I mean, if you were allowed to kiss somebody properly on set, yes. Sunny, which fictional character would you like to kiss, and which real life actor would you like to kiss?
We're talking about fictional in the Archers.
Yes.
Well, I can't. That would be telling. I can't.
All right. Fictional. How about fictional?
Fictional. One of the characters.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I think that it would have to be Justin, wouldn't it? Justin. I mean, she could. Well, she does like to snog a few people, doesn't she? Yeah. And she has done in her past. But I think it would have to be Justin.
Oh, not hunky Jacob.
Oh, well,
Jacob.
And it has been said that there was a bit going on between her and Eddie Grundy years ago behind the bike shed when they were at school. But hey, who knows?
I forgot about that.
What about Joan's husband, Wayne, who hangs out in the kitchen? What's he like?
Well, yeah, a bit greasy. A bit greasy, sweaty. That's the only thing.
Not enough money.
Yeah, but Jazza might be quite fun, mightn't he? You never know.
Yeah, a bit of rough.
Bit rough. Because you don't.
I don't think Jazza has enough money for our Lillian, does he?
Well,
it's not always the money, though, is it?
He thought he had with that scratch card, though, didn't he?
Got a grand to spare.
Exactly. Well, he thought he had for 5 minutes. Yeah.
That's one handbag.
Oh dear.
Just big shout out to everybody who is viewing on Facebook. My mum is on Facebook, so hello mum. And we've also got New York Nigel, who's also on Facebook, and then a special big hello going out to everybody on the YouTubes as well. So we do have a right royal collection of people watching you, Sunny. And another shout goes out to Michael. If you are lurking and you're watching this and saying I'm supposed to be on center stage, please unmute your mic, Michael, and get on. Sunny, because of the coronas and all the social distancing, does this mean that maybe some of the older actors, has there been any talk about maybe the older actors, maybe they can't come, shouldn't come, etc., or is it just, how does that work?
In truth, I don't know, Rodford. Actually, I really don't know what has happened with that at all. I suppose it's probably, their decision if they've been asked if they were interested in doing it. Mm-hmm. Inevitably, when you're older, and also because thinking about most of the older actors, they've got quite a journey. Most of them are sort of more down London-y way. So I'm lucky because I'm Stratford-on-Avon, so I can control my environment quite easily. I jump in my car and I can drive to the mailbox and I can park in the underground car park and I can easily and safely get up to the studio. But it's a bit more difficult, I think, when you live further away, and particularly when you're older. Obviously they have cars now that bring them, but it's still inevitably a bit more risky. But I truly don't know. I don't know what the decisions have been with any of the older actors.
And just as a technical point of view, everything that we're hearing now is that everything is out of the mailbox, or are there still some remote recordings?
As I understand it, it's all being done in the mailbox. I mean, I may be wrong there may be the odd remote recording going on. Again, I'm not sure. I'm not sort of privy to that. I'll probably know more when I get into the studio at the end of the month, because I was one of the first actors into studio in the mailbox a couple of months ago now it was, I think. So everything was terribly new, but I'll find out more when I go in next time. But I mean, of course, goodness knows what's going to happen to us all of us actually, with the coronavirus spreading in the way that it has, whether we'll have to go into lockdown at some stage. I don't know, but at least we all have the equipment still in our back bedrooms or wherever we've got it to be able to go back, to recording remotely. I hope we don't have to, but we are able to do that.
So,
can I ask a question? Oh,
so there is, sorry, Rosie, but so there is the potential then for going back to the monologues, is there?
I don't think we. I don't think we go back to the monologues because the technology has developed enough now for us to. We were doing quite a lot of duologues remotely, so I don't think we'll go back to the monologues unless they decide to do it in a voice or something. But now, everyone's on top of the technical team are on top of being able to record, a couple of people, 2 or 3 people together. Actually, it took a while. It took it a while just to sort out the technical issues with all that, and the problem was that. There was no time to experiment because we were straight into lockdown. 12 weeks worth of scripts were shelved. And in order to keep the thing on air, it was sort of straight in there as quickly as we could. So I guess with everything, we were experimenting, online. But it was lovely, I must say, to be able to go to those duologues, even to do it remotely, to hear somebody else was great.
I think the first time I realised it wasn't a monologue. I think there was a phone call, wasn't there? I think was it with Alice on the phone with somebody. I thought, my God, it's a dialogue.
That's right. Right. And that was sort of the way that we kind of got into it. And then I think when I was listening to myself, imperceptibly, I suddenly was sort of aware. Oh my goodness! Hang on, people are talking to each other again. It sort of crept up on you a little bit.
It did, yeah.
But it was great, and I just hats off. I know there's been criticism about those monologues, but all I can say is, Jeremy, our editor, and the production team were determined to keep the show on air. And unfortunately, as I said before, there wasn't time to experiment. Everybody was just trying to see what was working and what didn't work, and so on and so forth.
It's been discussed at length on the podcast whether any element of the monologue should be retained. And while initially, everybody was moaning about it, calling them the monologues, bit by bit, people realised that the monologues added something at certain stages in the narrative, and it did provide insights to characters you wouldn't normally get. Do you think an element of it will be retained? So at times we will hear a character internalising, because it does shed light.
And it may be that they will decide. I mean, it depends. It depends when it's used. And certain times it can be used really, really well, can't it? And maybe that would be nice, particularly if a character is going through a real crisis. For instance, something like Alice, I don't know if this is just an example, but, maybe it would be quite nice to hear her own inner thoughts sometimes of how she's sort of coping. It's not going to work for every character, but I think in certain situations, I think it could work really, really well, actually.
Yeah,
and we've been doing that for years, actually, in other radio stuff. I mean, I've done loads of, period stuff on radio. You've got your Restoration, you've got your Shakespeare, and everybody has their own sort of, moments to themselves. And so that always works quite well. And of course, you've got the device in radio to be able to use the different microphones, which you can get this wonderful microphone, which does sound as if it's in the actor's head, and so you can hear quite quickly the different vocal sound in the different microphones.
So Sunny, I had a question around it was more psychological. Oh no, Royfield wants to come in. Royfield?
Oh no, Rosie, you far away.
Grand. So it was really a question about and I think I'm hoping that I can see Witherspoon's he's here with us. The psychology of Jenny's relationship with her children is very perplexing. And as her sister in the show, I was really wondering if you had any insights, because when Jenny was, screaming at, Susie's chat room, and, the wonderful, indomitable Susan Carter sharing the baby news with the nation, North Worcestershire, and Jenny's driving along and losing the plot. And it reminded me of and there's been some chat on Twitter about this, the horrendous way Jenny behaved towards Lexi, and it was vile to Lexi. And it was just interesting in terms of sort of, Jenny seems incredibly controlling and very traditional in terms of the kind of lifestyle she'd like her children to lead, even though her own pathways through parenthood haven't been traditional. And then as her sister in the show, I just wondered if you had any kind of insight to share as to why Jenny is so controlling and horrible in relation to our wonderful Lexi, who lots of us want to come back. Like, can you just shed a light on that? Because it's really strange.
I know. Well, ask the script writers. I don't know. No, I think you're right. I think the word that I would use about her is traditional, because she's a traditional person, and I think she just wants everything to be just so. She doesn't want to rock the boat in any way, even despite, as you say, her own life has been a bit rocky and so on. We often, it's interesting with these two characters actually, with Jenny and Lillian, because in the early days before I was playing Lillian, she was quite straight-laced, that Lillian, and it was Jennifer who was the bit of the tearaway, as we know, and over the years the characters have kind of swapped, and so Jennifer has become a bit more straight-laced and Lillian is the one, that's the gin swigging, man-hunting, and so it's quite, but I think it's tradition, and I think particularly the way Angie plays her, which I think she plays her brilliantly and beautifully. If we have scenes together when obviously Lillian is probably usually causing mayhem, she's got this wonderful way of, you can't behave like this, I think it's just that she wants to be in control, but she doesn't want to rock the boat. She doesn't want to be, her family have got to be perfect, and she wants to be seen as being perfect in Ambridge, I would say, really.
I tell you what I really enjoyed since I feel like we've got our archers back. I must admit I was never a fan of the monologues, and I do want them to be completely and utterly dispensed with going forward. But that's just me, and it looks like I'm in a bit of a minority when it comes to that. But when we got our archers back, and there was proper dialogue, it seems that we've turned over that your character, Sunny, you turned over a new leaf. You seem to be like the agony aunt in chief. It was Linda coming to you, Robert, now Alice. Do you see this as a role that you'll inhabit kind of going forward, that you're everybody's confidant?
That would be great, wouldn't it? The agony aunt of Ambridge. I mean, that's it. AAA. So yeah, it would be. I mean, it was lovely to play, to get those scripts. And then I thought what was lovely at the end of it all, her anxiety about having put her foot in it, and oh my goodness, what she'd done, and Linda will never speak to her ever again. And that was a fun scene to play with Carol. When Lillian just assumes she's going to be blown into space because she's going to be so vile to her, and of course it was quite the opposite. It was really nice to play those scenes, I have to say, and to have scenes I've obviously had scenes with Carol before as Linda, but I hadn't had so many with Graham, who plays Robert, and it was lovely. It's always nice to find yourself having in-depth scenes with characters in the Archer that you don't normally have in-depth scenes with. Might be passing, saying hi in the bull, but to suddenly have in-depth scenes is interesting, because you find out how your character relates to that character in more depth, and it was good. So yes, you never know. She may become the agony aunt of Ambridge, which would be a great role for her. Don't know how Susan Carter would take that, but
that would be fantastic. Now, what we're going to have to do is have a little bit of a break, and we're going to do quiz, and then we're going to come back, everybody. And what we're going to do after we set the quiz questions is we're going to have because remember there's no caller innerers this week. It's just Zoomer innerers. So if you've got a question either for Sunny or about this week's Archers, basically put your hand up and you can fire your question off. All right, but first, it's the most important bit of these shows, other than, of course, what am I talking about? Of course, instead of as well as just having our guests, it's the quiz, and I made it a little bit easier this week. So these are super easy, right? First off, we start off with the pitch round, and you say you just say what you see, and I think this one is an utter gimme. Now, we do have a lot of visually impaired listeners to the podcast, so I do have to kind of describe this, which is going to really kind of give the ball away, give the game away. But we have a series of images, and this is an Archer's thing or person. The very first one is a flower of sorts, and then we have a monarch, and she ruled in the 18th century, had lots of kids, they all died in childbirth, very sad. Then we have something which rings an alarm, so to speak. Then we have a farmyard animal. Then we have a person who seems to be pointing at themselves. What Archer's thing or person is this? Again, we have a flower. We have an English monarch, famous for having lots of kids. Something that rings the alarm. Maybe if you're an old town crier, you'd use this. Then we have a farmyard animal looking all kind of cute, maybe quite tasty if you like to chow down on a little bit of meat. And then we have somebody looking rather happy with themselves, and they're pointing at themselves. So that is our first archer's thing or person. Secondly, what is this archer's thing or person? I said I've made these super easy this week. It's a white substance, and it's the staple of civilization. Without it, crumbs. Humanity wouldn't have been fueled to do the great works which he's done. There's a wonderful graphic symbol next to it, and then we have some TV graphics. That's our next image, and then we have a set of curtains. So, Glyn, full of love. I know I can see you there, Glyn. You're writing your notes down there. You're going, oh yeah, I think I nailed this one. I've got this. Yeah, thumbs up. Sarah Brown, lovely to see you. Look at you, looking all lovely. Thank you for the wave. So it's a white substance, folks, and it's the thing which ultimately gave humanity the power to tap all of its potential through civilization. That's what this thing does. It looks like incredibly powerful stuff. A graphic ampersand sign. Then we have some TV graphics and a bunch of curtains. What is that archer's thing or person? Only 2 pitch round questions this week. Right, now on to the quiz. Now, Francesca Word Salad actually did these questions because I was just too busy getting everything set up. So Francesca, wherever you are, we thank you and we salute you. Right, so these are just generic archers questions. How many episodes of Ambridge Extra were made? Was it A, 112, B, 254, or C, 308? How many episodes of Ambridge Extra were made? Was it A, 112, B, 254, or C, 308? I used to love me some Ambridge Extra. When our Lillian was off in Moscow, and then also down there in the Balkans. Good times indeed. Which of these is not an Ambridge dog? A, Captain, B, Judy, or C, Bonnie? Which of these is not a dog of Ambridge? A, Captain, B, Judy, C, Bonnie. Don't know what you win for this quiz other than just accolade and plaudits from your fellow DumTeeDummers. But anyway, it's worth winning. The plaudits, I suppose. Right, now, question 3. What was Ian up to when Lexi went into labour with Xander? A, chopping up venison in Grey Gables. B, judging the flower and produce show. I'm going to say that again. The flower and produce show. There you go, folks. And then C, giving Helen advice about Lee's daughters. So what was Ian up to when Lexi went into labour with Xander? A, chopping up venison in Grey Gables. B, judging the flower and produce show. Or C, giving Helen advice about Lee's daughters. That is question number 3. Question number 4. Who wrote Barwick Green? Was it A, Arthur Askey, B, Arthur Wood, C, Arthur Crown? Was it A, Arthur Askey, B, Arthur Wood, or C, Arthur Crown? And the last question. What was Auntie Christine's calling in life? Auntie Cardboard, we call her, affectionately, of course. Was she a horticulturalist? Was she a cook? Or was she a riding instructor? What was her main profession before she retired and then went off to the laurels? Was she a horticulturalist? Was she a cook? Or was she a riding instructor? So those are our questions, folks. And at the end of the show, before we wave goodbye to our Sunny, we'll give you the answers. And then it's all going to just descend, because I know you have your beverages with you and your best party frocks. And we're going to just, the last hour is going to be a free-for-all. I know Rosie in particular has got a party piece all primed and ready, haven't you, Rosie? Totes. Right. Wicked. Right. Now, folks, it's the time for you to pose a question. Remember, there's no caller in errors. So if you would like to, crumbs, Carol, you've just come straight off your horse, haven't you? Look at you with your riding hat on. You look wonderful, Mrs. Well done. So if you'd like to maybe comment, hello, Bernadette. If you'd like to comment about last week's action in Ambridge, this is your time. Or if you've got a question for our Sunny. So wave away, folks, and I will come to you. All right, Paul Loutman, I'm coming to you. I've asked you to unmute, sir. Go for it, Paul. You're up.
Again, hello, Sunny.
Hi, Paul. Hi.
Something I'm very intrigued about. You mentioned earlier on about how with the equipment you can now do duologues. But how are you doing these? Are you doing them just recording each individual bits and they're putting them together, or are you actually talking and you can hear someone else and see them?
The latter, yes.
The latter.
Yeah, we hear each other down the line. Yeah. What we'll have done a Zoom read through everybody anyway, at which stage you do see, obviously, like we're seeing each other now, but then when we get to the actual, because we were doing that anyway before we went back into studio, but then when we record remotely, I will be hearing, say if it was Carol, I will be hearing her down the line. So that's great. Okay. That's why it was so tricky initially to organise something like that, because the problem was everybody's Wi-Fi connection was different. You know, everybody's acoustic was different. So they had to have the software in order to be able to iron all that out. So basically in my ear, I have got Carol, for instance, and then I've got the technician, Andy, and I've got my producer as well. So there are 4 of us basically, online. Yeah. You've
only got 2 ears. You need 4 ears from the side.
You do.
Thank you very much. I was just intrigued about that.
Yeah, that's a really interesting question, actually, because funnily enough, I have been recording an audio book, which actually is a 2-person audio book. So it's in the form of a conversation. And that's been quite complicated because we haven't had the same sort of acoustic situation that we have with all the BBC equipment. And that's been quite interesting because I have been recording my part at home and the other actress has been recording her part at home, and then it's all been spliced together. So that's been quite tricky. So it'll be interesting to see what that sounds like.
Fantastic. All right, so do we have another question? You've got to make yourself known. You've got to all right, Cranky Yankee, hello. I'm asking you to unmute. Wait a minute. We have there you go.
Sunny, what is your favorite thing that has happened to Lillian? What was the most fun to act out?
Oh gosh, Cranky Yankee, is that your real name, first of all, before
Of course not. But it's fun to have a pseudonym.
Very funny. Oh, it's great. Gosh, it's really difficult. I've had so many lovely storylines and fun storylines.
Top 5.
Top 5. Oh my goodness, I'm very old now, trying to retrieve it from my mind. I have always loved the storylines with Carol, who plays Linda, because we always have a bit of fun with that, because we're always at odds with each other. Actually, one of the most recent ones was when she decided to tie herself to the bull sign, because we wanted to change the name of the bull. Some of those were great scenes and great fun to play. I just love being very indignant with her and so on. One of the other funny storylines was years ago, actually, when Lillian was supposed to have had a facelift, and I had to do all the scenes, like this. She sort of came back, and that was great fun. That was another one. And then there was another one much earlier that I did actually with Angie, who plays Jenny. When we were supposed to be in a sauna, and that was also quite fun. And then we were also supposed to be having one of those treatments, where you clothe yourself in cellophane and stuff like that. And so the spot person was there with this roll of cellophane, it's sort of all tightly in that. That was another fun one to do. And I've always enjoyed the bed scenes in the Archers, and Lillian's had quite a few because they're always hysterical. Because in studio we have an area of the studio where we've got a sofa, but it's a sofa bed. And actually, what we do when we're supposed to be in bed, it becomes a bed, and we have the duvet and we have all that. The microphone is very, very close to us, but there's always 3 people in that relationship because we always have to have a person on spot as well who is there rustling the duvet and doing whatever. So it can get quite funny and quite intimate, because the great thing about radio is you can use such little voice. So it's absolutely it's just great. And Simon, who plays who's my love? Yes, thank you. My current one. He in the early days was very funny because we had scenes where we were supposed to be in bed, and he was supposed to be undoing his flies and things like that, and there was Ness, on the floor near to his groin, near to the microphone, just pulling up and down zips and all that. It's good fun. It's good fun.
I can tell. You always it seems like your part as Lillian comes alive.
Oh, well, that's great. Well, she's such a joy to play, and I have been given some great storylines that, the writers have been very kind to me, and she's just always just fun, I think the great thing about her and why people like her so much is because she says and does all the things that we'd all like to say, but probably don't,
She's a bit of id.
Yeah.
She's a bit of id.
Yeah. Absolutely. My theory is that she's never really grown up, so she's sort of, and fortifies herself with the odd gin.
Thank you for that, Cranky Yankee. Do we have any other questions waiting to jump out of a Zoomer-innerer? Okay, Bernadette Hawkes, you're up.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking I've probably answered the question in my head, but it's for Lillian. Sunny, hello.
Hi, Bernadette. Hi.
You actually have a conscience.
That's a really good question, isn't it? I think sometimes you do wonder, don't you, with her? I think she does. I think sometimes she has to reach for that conscience quite a lot. And I thought it was quite interesting, actually, this recent storyline when she was suddenly having doubts about how she had acted with Linda and if she'd really, blown the friendship and so on and so forth. It quite unusual for Lillian, actually, I have to say. But it was quite fun to play. Yeah, she does have a conscience, but when it suits her, I would say.
I'm wondering how she's going to cope with Alice if the storyline goes not very well.
Yeah, and I think she will definitely be appalled, not appalled, but I think she'll be upset that she, knowing, and she will, of course, what's gone on, that she maybe encouraged her, at a time when obviously Alice was trying to cope with her demons and so on and so forth. But of course, from Lillian's point of view, always done with the best of intentions and, just wanting to have a lovely time with her niece. And they always have had lovely times, having a glass of wine or G&T or something. So yes, she sadly walked into that one. But it was a great plot device, really. I think it worked very well, actually, because everybody, including myself, when I heard it, was going, oh, no, this poor girl is trying so hard.
Okay, thank you.
Pleasure.
Just before we go back to more questions, there's one question on Facebook, and it's from Peter Jackson, and he says, were we ever told what breed of dog Ruby is? Were we ever told that, Sunny?
I'm not sure we were actually told, the audience was told, but I do remember it was something that we discussed heavily in studio because one needed to know, I was like, what am I petting here? And I think they sort of decided that it was going to be something like a little Jack Russell or something like that type of thing. I was hoping that, we would go for some, I don't know, Labradoodle or something like that. I thought that would have been quite fun. Labradoodle that she couldn't control, that was causing havoc in Ambridge, I thought would really be, and it would be typical of Lillian to have something extraordinary. She wouldn't just be an ordinary dog. She'd have to have something so strange. But I remember, I don't think it's ever been specifically said, but I think the idea is that it's something like a little Jack Russell, that type of thing.
And then I have to say thank you to Rosie Taylor, who's pulled me up on my pronunciation. It's not Barwick Green, it's Barrack Green. And I did know that, but I keep on lapsing into that mistake. So we're back on to Speak of You. So do you, Pat Brown, look at you with your hat. You've come dressed up, Pat Brown. Look at you. Well done. Right. We're coming over to you. It's me old mucker from the Flick app. You can unmute yourself, sir, and you look very, very regal. There you go.
Not so much a question for Lillian, just a comment. That Susan Carter, yesterday's episode, how awful was she? I mean, at her absolute worst. And I do not know how Jenny finally sort of reconciled herself to what Susan had just done. I mean, that woman needs to be sacked from the radio at the first possible moment. That's all I have to say. Until the talent show a bit later.
Yeah, it's great, actually. I do love all that. I think Charlotte's really sort of, who plays Susan's really grabbed that, hasn't she, with two hands. It's a great device for her as a character, isn't it? That's brilliant.
Well, Sunny, did you know that people have been trying to phone in to Susie's chat room? So when they read out the number on Radio Borsetshire, Archer's listeners everywhere around the world have been trying to call in, and they just can't get through. They can't get through.
That's brilliant. Maybe it's going to be a spin-off series. It would be the Susan Carter show, Oh gosh, it'd be great.
Do we have any more questions? Vicky, you need to come back, by the way, Vicky. I've seen you just walk off. So Wake and Kraken. There you go. And then we're going to come on to you, Terry. You're going to be next. Oh, sorry about that. I muted you as you unmuted yourself. Nick, there you go.
Okay, cheers. Evening, everyone. As you know, I'm not Peggy's greatest fan at all. And I just wondered, how's Peggy going to take this news? Is she going to see Alice's baby as a new sacrifice for her vampiric traits? Or, is she going to be disappointed? What do you think, Sunny?
Oh gosh, that's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, I think basically she'd be thrilled because, any addition to the family is will be good in her books. But of course, she has her opinions, doesn't she, about things? And I think when she knows that there is issues with the old drink, I think she will give her advice. She's very kind, isn't she? Really?
No.
Oh no, she is. She's always very, very clear, and she's stern, but in a very kindly, grandmotherly way. I always think you know.
It's evil.
When Emma needed some money in the house, Peggy said no, even though she knew the struggle that Emma had been through. Yeah. It's a thumbs down from me, Sunny, and
right.
Nick.
Right.
And Bernadette. And Pat.
Yeah, because she's my mother, so I she's got a place in my heart. See the best side of her.
Cute.
I need to come on to you now, Terry. You're about to ask a question. There you go.
Hi, I had a question about your Lillian's love life. Looking back at the chemistry that she had with Matt and with Paul, are you hoping that Justin is it? Or do you think there might be room for another romantic storyline?
Well, you never know. I think the thing about Lillian, she's getting younger, isn't she? Instead of getting older, it seems, she's I don't know. Let's hope. Let's hope not. Let's hope that Justin is the one, is the man. But of course, you just never know with Lillian, do you? She's got an eye to the main chance, and she's been very lucky, I think, in life that she's had all these chaps in her life. But I think maybe Justin will be the one. I think Justin may be the one. And I think if she's sensible, he will be the one, and she won't start playing around and misbehaving. But it's easy for her to do. I think she's easily lured. Is our Lillian into the away from the straight and narrow? But she's getting on now, so I think she just should be thankful that she's got that beautiful Justin on her arm. Quite frankly.
I think we got time for two more questions. So, all right, Carol. All right. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Go on, Quentin.
Well, Royful, just off the back of Terry's question, and also Cranky Yankee, and I think we've got Witherspoon on as well. Whenever I listen to the podcast, I'm always fascinated by the global reach of the Archers, but particularly it seems in America and Canada. I mean, Terry, for instance, why do you find the Archers so fascinating? As an American, why do you love it so much? It absolutely amazes me because it's so quintessentially English and stupid.
I think it's amazing. I've read almost every book that has come out, collected them for years. My husband's British, and I think that the show has given me a different lens to kind of view him and his family and the entire British culture through. It's just a unique lens to look at it through. And I love it. I just absolutely love it.
So what have you learned about us funny English through the Archers?
It's really, I think I'll have to write my own book to get all of that out.
Oh, give us a flavour. Come on. One or two things that you've learned.
Well, I think mainly that even though a lot of British people, and I hope I don't offend anybody when I say that, you guys do keep your emotions very held and tight, but your inner monologue is not at all like that. So I'm very straightforward. So when somebody's not straightforward with me, I initially think I don't know how to process that. So I'm realizing, I guess, over the years, how much more layers there are behind the simple things that are said in conversation.
Yes, we're like onions, aren't we? We English, yes, yeah, multi-layered. But you just love it's what captivates you about it. Do you just find the whole narrative and the whole story and the whole drama just absolutely captivating? Do you?
I do, and I like and I don't mean this as a backwards compliment. The mundaneness of it, how it's not like, the EastEnders or Days of Our Lives in our case, kind of soap opera. Like every day is something major. You got to stick with it. You got to love it if you're going to be part of it. And I love the community around it as well.
Yeah, that's crucial to understanding any love for the Archers, to accept the mundanity of it. But it's interesting also that whenever there is a big storyline like the modern slavery or whatever, lots of us are captivated by that, or Rob Titchener, but many people don't like, if you like, the really nitty gritty, hard hitting storylines. They think, I've had enough of the hard world. I want between 7 and 7:15 a nice world. Do you like the nitty gritty stories?
I like all of it. I do have to admit, I'm loving the fact that the coronavirus has not been so in our face on the Archers. It's been a nice way to kind of get away from that for even just a few minutes a day. I'm grateful that you guys were able to do the individual recordings along the way. I think that really kind of kept it going for people stuck at home.
Well, it's great that you're listening to it in Texas. That's fantastic. I've just looked you up on Twitter in case you're wondering.
Oh, yeah.
Stalker.
And what about
Stalker Rainer?
No, just doing my research. And Cranky Yankee, what do you like about the Archers? We can't hear you.
Wait a minute. Let me see if I can.
I got it. I unmuted myself.
Okay.
It's basically, I feel the same way as Terry. It's like the mundaneness. It's an escape. I've learned a lot about British words. I've learned how to make British flapjacks and a pickle and cheese Sammy. It's just the whole mundaneness of it. And I found it by, as soon as it came to the iTunes, I found it, but I discovered it when I listened to the BBC on the shortwave radio, because it would talk about the Archers moving times, and I thought, oh, this sounds so nice, but I didn't get to listen to it till a few years later, until it became on iTunes.
Right. So. Interesting. Has it made you want to visit Borsetshire, both of you?
I've been to England a couple times. Family over there.
Sorry, Terry? Sorry.
Before this whole thing hit, I actually had planned to take like a solo vacation in the area, and actually really kind of write. I have this idea of writing an American and Ambridge kind of book.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah,
so I wanted to kind of go there and like sequester myself in a village that's not my in-laws' village, because that's its own kind of thing. Yeah. And kind of I'm excited to get when I get a chance to travel, to go back.
I think that will be a seller, definitely. Yes.
I'm definitely going to get a copy of that. Now, 2 more questions. Philippa, you had your hand up. Got 2 more questions for our Sunny, because she's got a hard out. She's got supper to eat very soon.
I can smell it.
Can you unmute? There you go, Philippa.
Yes. Hi, Sunny. My question is about the Zoom rehearsals. Is there any way we can get involved with those? Because it'd be amazing to watch them.
It would be. I don't think so. No, I don't think it would be. Yeah, no. I don't think you could. But it has been lovely, because in the very early days, you know, when we went into lockdown and we were doing the monologues, you know, for quite a while, we didn't even have any rehearsal of those. You know, we just went sort of straight into it, rehearse it online, but we didn't have any of the Zoom read-throughs at all. We didn't have any read-throughs at all. So it was kind of straight in. No, I mean, the interesting thing about the Zoom thing is, of course, as with all of us, the Wi-Fi connections are all so different, and we're all in different places. You know, somebody's up in their attic and somebody's down in a basement, and sometimes, you know, it's fantastic, but other times you can find yourself doing a scene with somebody and not quite knowing, you know, if they've finished. And that's why, of course, in the early days, we had to just do monologues, because the issue was all the Wi-Fi connection. But it is great to be with everybody and to be able to ask the producer questions at that time and so on and so forth. But no, I don't think it'd be possible for you to be there. And then you'd know what was coming up. You couldn't have that. You'd know what was coming up, you see.
I know I said just 2 more questions, and we've done one. Let's have just 2 more, and then I think Sunny can have her supper. All right, Carol, there you go.
Hello there. Hi.
Hi,
Sunny. I'm just wondering, I can't remember how old Lillian actually is.
She is 70.
70, okay. Sunny, do you ride horses yourself?
Well, no, I don't really. I mean, I did when I was young, because I'm a farmer's daughter, and I remember we had, but not seriously is what I would say. Clearly you are. Clearly you do.
Well, yeah. The reason I asked you is because I don't ride as much as I used to do, because I feel old age creeping up, and when you land on the ground, it's very painful nowadays. And I'm always amazed at Lillian riding highly strung horses, galloping like mad across and steady and all that. And I just think, oh my goodness, what a terribly brave lady Lillian is, because I would probably not be doing that.
But
do you think that yourself?
Well, I do, but you know, probably we have to remember that probably when she is riding, she's probably fortified by a bottle of gin. She's not feeling as much, you know, as one might normally. So I would think that's the real answer. That's the real answer to it. Yeah. She's got a hip flask as well, you know, and she's riding on, you know, and all that.
That's courage. Yep, it's a good one.
Thank you for your question there, Carol. We've got one more, folks. One more, and then Lillian asked Sunny, and he said, go and have her supper. Right, Melly, are you going to ask a question? Or is that, how about you, Sean? Dr. Cara Courage. Hello and welcome. You know, I'm going to unmute you. You're going to have the final question. There you go, Doc. You're up. Yes, you. Go on, you can unmute yourself.
Oh my God, that's so unfair.
Just for people that don't know, we're good friends with the Academic Archers. They're a wonderful bunch of people, lovely geeks who go into the weeds of all things Borsetshire and Ambridge, and from an academic perspective, they've even got books out about it and stuff. So Cara is going to be one of the judges on the talent show in a little bit, and she's travelled all over England to get to her brothers just so they can get here on time. So there you go. You can have the final question to Sunny.
I don't know if I have a question. It's been an absolute joy to listen to you, Sunny, and it's just absolutely lovely to have that insight into it as well. So just thank you very much. I'm so sorry. I was just so enjoying listening that I wasn't actually thinking of a question. I feel like I've let you all down. I'm so sorry.
Well, you're going to have to make it up to us later.
I will.
There you go. There you go. Sunny.
Oh, no, there's another question. Lonnie's there. Go on.
All right, then. Okay. Go on, Mr. Bihar. Where are you, Lonnie?
Oh, sorry, I'm now pointing down at the screen.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Sunny, I know you were channeling Lillian a few minutes ago, but when you said Lillian was 70, I checked on the Archer's website.
How old is she?
Lillian is 73. Just for the record.
The thing is, darling, you know, the thing is, when you drink as much gin as I do, you can't remember, you know. Trying to lose years, quite frankly. What is trying to lose?
Quite all right. Quite all right. A woman's prerogative.
Lonnie, Mr. Witherspoon, wow, don't you look wonderful? Thank you for dressing up for this auspicious occasion. But Sunny, we have to say goodbye to you. Go have your supper. What have you got?
Having lasagna, darling. That's what with a nice G&T. I'm sure that's what.
Listen, thank you for spending your Friday evening with us, and no doubt we'll have you back on the podcast soon. Cheers to you, Sunny.
Take care, everybody.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Bye. I tell you what we're going to do, folks. We're going to go give you the quiz answers, and then we're going to wrap the show up as we traditionally do, and then we're going to go and have our cocktail hour. So you should have a little bit of liquid refreshment with you, and we're going to be royally entertained by the DumTeeDummers far and wide. So let's give you the quiz answers, and let's see who has aced it this week. So how many episodes of Ambridge Extra were there? There were 112. And I must admit, I was a big fan of Ambridge Extra. I thought it was bonkers, but it was a lot of fun. Which of these dogs was not an Ambridge pooch? It was C. Bonnie. Of course, a Jack Woollyad Captain. That's my favourite Ambridge dog. There's lots of Captain, wasn't there, in the 80s and the 90s. Bonnie was not an Ambridge dog. What was Ian up to when Lexi went into labour with Xander? He was judging the flower and produce show. That's what he was doing. Oopsie daisy. Who wrote Barrack Green? It was Arthur Wood, not Arthur Askey. Those are man of many talents. His talent didn't go to composing ditties of that sort. And the last question, before we go on to the picture round answers, what was Auntie Chris's life calling? She was a riding instructor, of course. She had the stables before Shula. Now it's the picture round, and these are so easy this week. Quentin Rayner.
Hello.
What do you reckon this is? We've got a flower, we've got a monarch, we've got something you ring, we've got a farmyard animal, and somebody pointing at themselves. Who is that?
Well, gosh, it's tough. This is tough, Roy. We got a Lily.
Yeah.
We got Queen Anne.
Mm-hmm.
Lillian. We got a Bell.
Yeah.
Lillian, Bell, and the woman pointing at herself, me. I think, and I might be wrong. Is it Lillian Bellamy?
Yeah, you'd be correct. You would be correct. Well done. I told you these are easy this week. Right, Rosie Porty. Rosie McGlynn. What do you see there?
Mm-hmm.
What do you see?
The thing is, Royfield, you see a glass bowl of a white substance, which when you were describing it sounded like crack cocaine, to be honest.
Did crack cocaine fuel human civilization? Crack cocaine might have fueled the 80s.
It depends where you live. So you have a bowl of white powder, you have an ampersand, then you have a blue screen that says produced by Jerome Epstein, which I find a bit disturbing. And then you have some beautiful theatre curtains, which I thought could have resulted in the Flower and Produce show / some strange crossover between Breaking Bad and a really grim undercover New Yorker investigator. But that's just me. I don't know.
You know what? I didn't even realise I just did a Google search for TV credits with the word produced in. I didn't realise what it said.
Yeah, I would kind of dash out the Epstein if I were you. Just kind of saying that.
Goodness.
For next
Goodness. You are correct. It's the Flower and Produce Show. These were very easy this week. Very easy. I thought, you know what? It's the 350th show. There's no point making them really hard. Who got all of those correct? Wave if you did. Pat Brown. Do you call yourself Toft, are you, this week, sir? Well done. And who else? Did anybody else get all of them correct?
Yeah.
Of course you did, Doc. Small Smiley, I'm coming to you.
I think Mia did as well.
Well done,
Hello.
Mia. And I'm asking you to... There you go.
Hello. Very proud. First time.
Hello.
Hello. Anyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Where? Yeah, we can hear.
Okay, good. Very proud of myself.
Yes. Where are you?
I'm near Mia. I live in the northeast.
You're next to each other.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Okay. That maybe that's the reason why the internet connection's so dodgy, because you're all the way up in the northeast of England.
Exactly. I'm right by the sea.
Oh well, there you go. Famously, there's technical problems if internet connections are by the sea. But well done. Quentin's going to send you something special in the post for winning.
Am I?
Ooh.
Yes.
All right.
Oh no! I tell you what.
Shirt. I want his shirt.
Well done, everybody.
I promised that already to Sunny. She wants it. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Funny about me, definitely.
Another piece of clothing I'll send you. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, washed.
If you must.
Well, we're going to wrap things up in the traditional kind of DumTeeDum manner, because we are going to push this out as a podcast this weekend. So I'm going to say this, DumTeeDum.com, go there. It's got a shop. There's wonderful things you can do on DumTeeDum.com. One of the wonderful things you can do on DumTeeDum.com, other than purchase things from the shop, it could be a mug, it could be a T-shirt, whatever. Maybe Quentin will need a T-shirt after he's given Small Smiley his shirt. He'll need something to wear.
I will. Yes.
You will. So he'll be buying something from the shop, but also what you can do is go on to DumTeeDum.com and listen to the previous episodes of the show. Another way which you can help support, or a great way you can help support this podcast, is going on to Patreon.com, and for $2 per episode, it means that you support the show. And that's awesome, because it means that I had to buy Restream to be able to do this, just as one little tiny thing. And so this means that people on Facebook and then YouTube can actually watch this. Restream isn't free. So if you help and support the podcast by going to Patreon, whatever it means, I can pay for things like that. So thank you for everybody that does support the podcast on Patreon, because it means I can pay for Restream today. So you can actually watch this on Facebook or YouTube. Another thing you can do is write us a review. And you've been writing reviews? Don't stop. Why stop? Just because we've done 350 shows, don't think, oh my goodness, I can stop writing a review now. Keep going, because it means that we got those podcast charts if you write a review. Now, Rosie Porty, the next bit is in red.
Remember, to get in contact, you can send us a message via SpeakPipe on the website, or you can call 0203 031 3105 to leave a message, or you can send a text message beginning with DUM to 07786 200 690.
You all know the next bit. I say something like, we started on Twitter. Twitter is what conceived us, and we just stated for, I don't know. Lucy and I thought about doing it for about a week. It's a very quick gestation from me meeting her on Twitter to DumTeeDum being birthed and us doing the first episode. But you can find Quentin. Quentin, you're on Twitter, aren't you?
I am on Twitter. Yes.
Yeah, you like the Twitters, don't you?
I like the Twitters, yes.
And you like people following you, don't you? Kind of, it gives you a real sense of inflation, doesn't it?
He doesn't need inflating. He's a lovely, beautiful man, Royfield.
Yes, it gives me value and purpose in my life. So please follow me. Yeah, you can find me at Quentin Rayner. One word. It's QUENTINRAYNER because it's often spelled OR.
Rosie, you're new to the Twitters, aren't you? Relatively speaking.
I am. So I've been, I think, in the Twitter universe since, I think, July time, but I've been meeting some amazing people. I think Bernadette, Claire, Witherspoon, there are some awesome, Philippa, I can see so many folk, Pats out there, and we've had some hilarious and engaging exchanges. I'm at Rosie Porty on the Twitter.
And actually, you can find Sunny on Twitter. She doesn't really indulge in it that much, but you can find her at Sunny Ormond, and I can be found quite simply at Royfield, spelled ROIFIELD. There is Facebook, and Facebook is there for people that like Facebook, and if you like Facebook, you're probably on Facebook because you like it. So if you're on Facebook, why don't you type in DumTeeDum and join us on Facebook? And special big ups goes out to all those people that are on Facebook right now because they're watching us. So why don't you all wave? Everybody wave. I'm going on the group view. There you go. Everybody on Facebook is getting a wave. There you go.
Hello, Mr. Zuckerberg. Hello.
All right. Now, Quentin Rayner.
Yes.
Now, the next bit's in green, sir.
Oh, it is. That means I've got to talk.
At Royfield.
Sorry?
And the Flickat posse that Royfield's meant to have mentioned. Thank you to the Flickat people.
Oh, you know what? I was coming on to that.
I've got to do my first bit, Rosie. Come on.
Yeah, but you do your bit, and then we'll do the Flickat posse, and then we'll go into cocktail hour.
All right. So what I also need to say is that remember when tweeting about the Archers, particularly on the tweet along on Sundays and during the week, but is to use the capitalized hashtag the Archers. So it's capital THE, capital ARCHERS, because that really helps the visually impaired people who use screenwriters to actually follow the tweet along. Without capitals, it's pretty much impenetrable and gobbledygook. So if you could use the capitalized hashtag the Archers, that's a really big help.
Yeah, there are people that use hashtags on Facebook too, so that's really important. And I think the Archers has a lot of visually impaired listeners for a very obvious reason. So it's really important that we make things as easy for them so they can actually follow along with us on social media. So please capitalize. And I know somebody pointed out that on DumTeeDum yesterday, within our bio, we hadn't actually done that, and we've done that now. Okay, I think that's just about the show before, and then we're going to cut the podcast roundabout now. But I did want to just say to everybody that 2020 for everybody has been the most trying of years. I'm over here in Canada in isolation. I've literally only seen one person in 10 days because I'm over here to see my kids, and I have to be in a strict isolation here. I'm not even allowed to physically leave the Airbnb where I am. This global pandemic has made all of our lives very trying. One thing which we've had going for us is our love of the Archers, and then around that is the community, which is DumTeeDum, and it's really helped me personally. And also, very obviously, this year, DumTeeDum has gone through some quite seismic changes. As I've said to people, 6 years of doing things one way, it is a long time, and nothing lasts forever. But I really do thank everybody that stuck with us this year, stuck with us at DumTeeDum. And whilst we've tried out new things, new people, I'm still making my mind up about Quentin. I don't know if he really works. That Rosie, she's a star. She's a natural. But Quentin, I don't know. But I'm going to keep going. I'll give him another try and another try until it works. And
whatever. This man on DumTeeDum in that beautiful shirt. And I have to say, you should say a massive thank you to Kerry and Peter, who have been phenomenal in stepping up. But it's been, I think it's been really fantastic how things have evolved and changed, but people have stepped up and there's been a huge amount of support out there in the community. But I think also, thank you, Royfield, because you've been a superstar through all of this, and lots of clapping, because I'm just stepping and taking over again, as I always do, but you've been really amazing through our lockdown experiences, and people have been genuinely just looking forward to Fridays, and it's been fantastic. So I think a massive thank you from all of us to you.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't saying it to get any kind of plaudits back, but I can honestly say, I know a lot of you know that I do so many other podcasts, things that made England, or I just had, I did a 10 American Presidents. I did an audio documentary on Ronald Reagan this week, and that gets tens of thousands of downloads. But I utterly adore the community of DumTeeDum. It gives me so much more than all my other podcasters just don't, if I'm being brutally honest. So thank you for helping to, pick me up this year when maybe I felt a little bit down or a little bit kind of morose and going, don't want to do this bloody thing again and whatever. So thank you for being, stalwart supporters of the show. So that's that. Right now, I don't really know how this is going to work, to be honest with you. I'm not a massive one for talent shows, if truth be known. Now, we do have Cara, and I think Cara and her other doc sidekick, if she's here, are going to be kind of judges of... Are you shaking your head, Cara? I didn't think she was either. Going to be judges of the talent show. Now, quite simply, it's a free-for-all. The only thing that we ask is that you be entertaining, and if you're not entertaining, you're so unentertaining that in itself is entertainment in and of itself. All right? So if you're bad, be really bad. Don't just be mildly bad, right? Be dreadful, okay? Danielle, look at you. We have to draw attention to you. What the heck is going on there?
These are my Ambridge bunny ears that were lit up especially just to say thank you, Michael, for everything that you've done. And DumTeeDum has just been so special during lockdown for me. So this is for all the community. So these are my lit up bunny ears for everybody.
It looks like you've got a couple of flamethrowers on your head.
They're actually, I think it's because I have no light on in my house. And this is my style over substance talent.
So there you go, folks. You have to follow that. You have to follow that. All right. So who wants to... I was going to say who wants to go first, but we've had Danielle. Danielle's actually gone first. So who wants to go second? You've got 2 minutes, folks. Whilst these are whilst everybody is doing their thing, I think you should be taking fortifying sips of your refreshment just to keep you all properly lubricated. Francesca, I'm coming to you first.
Hello. Hi. So
wow.
I'm not actually in space. I was just trying to put it up in the background.
Hi, Francesca, looking amazing.
Hi, thank you. I'm wearing sparkles. I even have sparkly tights. Woo! Ooh. Sparkly tights. You can't see. So I'm gonna do a bit of a rude song that I wrote, and it's dedicated to everyone who likes gardening. You are a delicious dandelion. I look at you, then I blew your head. Let me caress your lovely long stem. Will you make me wet my bed? I'll make a wish. Tell me the time. I'll make a wish. Tell me the time. I'll make a wish. Tell me the time. I'll make a wish if you have the time. Bury your roots inside my soil, going deep. Be invasive as you wish. Treat me like a lawn. Spread your seed all over my grass. Go ahead and spawn on my lush pasture. I'll make a wish, tell me the time. I'll make a wish, tell me the time. I'll make a wish, tell me the time. I'll make a wish if you have the time. Blow 1 o'clock, blow 2 o'clock, blow 3 o'clock, blow. Your white seed is everywhere.
Oh, wow.
You are a
Wow.
delicious dandelion. I looked at you, then I blew your head. I caressed your lovely long stem. Now all that's left to do is wet my bed. I made a wish, I told you the time. I made a wish, I told you the time. I made a wish, you told me the time. I made a wish on my lovely dandelion, you had the time.
Wow.
Yeah. It's all about weeds.
Well, my mum is a good Christian woman, and she's been tuning into that. So but she's also a keen gardener. So she probably yes. So Cara is our celebrity judge. What do you reckon?
Do you know what? It's the type of song you can sing to children and they learn about dandelions and none the wiser.
Well, I was about to say, top marks for doing that whilst my nephews are going into their bath just in the next room.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's just about dandelions.
Very innocent song. It absolutely just about the birds and the bees. I think that was fantastic. It was really out of this world, quite literally. And I think Ambridge now has its own version of "Pull Up to My Bumper, Baby." I thought that was just amazing.
Well done. Just before we go on and we have the next performer, do we have any boffins here that actually know Zoom? Because somebody has just tweeted. It's Polly Barker has said, "Can I enable the chat during Zoom for the introverts who've just had too much wine and just want to talk to each other?" And I don't know how to do that. How do I do that? Can somebody tell me?
Only you can do that, Royfield, as host, and that's in your settings within Zoom, not within this chat. Or it might
All right,
be
so I'm in settings now.
So if you go to something like participants or something like that, you might be able to disable it that way. Or it's in your like mainframe settings that you can enable
Participants
chat.
video, participants audio type, join before host.
It's smooth, isn't it? I mean, you know, you guys are all just kind of like.
Oh yeah, in chat, elaborative. I got it ticked.
Yeah. Oh.
Private chat ticked. Auto saving chats. It's all ticked as far as this is concerned. I don't know, folks. Anyway. Right. Who's next? By the way, Rosie, what did you reckon to that rather filthy rendition of gardening?
It wasn't filthy.
It wasn't filthy. I would say it was lyrical, it was beautiful, it was tuneful, it was everything I expect from Francesca Word Salad, one of the singer-songwriters in the known universe.
Oh, absolutely. Right. Oh, we got Mary, not contrary. Hello, Mary. Hello. We've got Toronto in the house. Right. Who's next? Wave, please, if you want to be next. All right, sir. We are coming over to you.
I just request you go to somebody else first. Give me 2 minutes because I need to set up. And I'll.
All right.
So,
okay. Smashing.
Next, okay.
All righty. So who's gonna be next? Hello, Claire, over there in Bedford. Nonchalantly, just like stood around looking cool. Oh, Kari, were you saying that you want to be next, or that you just waving to Claire?
No, she was waving at Claire.
Right.
Absolutely not. I was just saying hello to Claire very enthusiastically. I have no
All
talent
right.
for this sort of thing.
Me either. Hello, Fiona, over there in Pennsylvania. Right, come on. Everyone's being incredibly shy. Okay, Sarah, you're up. There you go, Sarah. There you go.
Okay, this is I'm going to the other end of the spectrum spectrum. I'm trying to lower the bar so people don't get shy about their talent. I'm going to vote for the President of the United States. So there are many candidates on my ballot here, including number 45, who dare not speak his name, and Joe Biden, and Kanye West is on my ballot here in Oklahoma. Not going to do that. Anyway, I'll just go ahead and make my choice, and I'm gonna fill that in right there, and hopefully this will give you 2 minutes to set up for the next talented person. So let's see. I can fill in this whole box right here. I don't want to accidentally vote for the wrong person. Let's see. Here we go. I am voting for the president. Not our current president. I'm voting for our next president. Okay. And then I will put this in an envelope, and then that will be inside another envelope, and then I will mail that off to
That you've just displayed a talent that potentially could change world history. So big ups to you. We have to applaud. What a talent.
Joe and Kamala, right? It wasn't anybody. It wasn't like a strange man with a wig on. It was Joe and Kamala. Right?
Oh no, yeah, of course, yeah. Any chance I have to vote for women and people who care about humans, I'm going to do that.
To say thank you very much, and you're helping the world be a better place. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you. Stephen Bowden, are you back, sir? No, he's still getting his stuff.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Oh, you are. All right. So, okay.
I'm gonna mix. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna mix your cocktail.
Quentin, are you able to pin the video of the person who's doing the talent show?
Oh wow. I think so.
Speak of you when I speak.
There we
my
go.
Voice has just gone. Right.
You can do that in your own settings as well.
This is a cocktail called the Aviation. It was invented in about 2016, and I will try and mix it in about 2 minutes. The important ingredients are, firstly, about an ounce of lemon juice. I'm going to make 2 of these because otherwise I'll never get around to having a second one. An ounce of lemon juice is really about half of a lemon. So I'm going to make it involving 2 halves of a lemon, 1 whole lemon juice, and that gives me roughly 50 milliliters, and that goes in there. Gin, twice as much gin. So we need about 100 milliliters of gin. This is Whitby gin. I don't know why my voice has gone. The Demeter edition, which is named after the boat that brought Dracula to Whitby. So, 2 ounces of gin. Then next we have about 1.5 centiliters of maraschino liqueur, which is a bitter cherry liqueur. And the magic ingredient, long forgotten when this drink was first discovered, nobody knew it was in this, creme de violette, which, as its name suggests, is the violet-flavoured liqueur. And you put about 20 of that in there. All of that goes into your cocktail shaker with a couple of cubes of ice, and then you and then the moment of truth, you strain your chilled drink into your glasses, and it comes out this beautiful blue colour, which you may or may not be able to see, depending on how big the picture is. There's just enough for 2 cocktails. And then you garnish it, ideally with a couple of maraschino cherries, not the bright red ones that you get in cheap supermarket jars. These are made by Luxardo. And that goes in there. I only made 1 garnish. And that is the Aviation. And cheers to DumTeeDum.
Way, well done, sir. Well done, Stephen Bowden. Thank you. And he's dressed up for the occasion too. Polyops, have you got what are we shaking your head for? Right, Jane Curzon. I don't know what you're going. What, me? Yes, you. Isn't it Sabbath for you, Jane?
It's Erev Shabbat, and I've just come back from the Butcher's Arms, where we've had early doors, which was a bit of a pain because we've all got to be on tables because it's a bit miserable in this country at the moment. But I really wanted to just connect with Witherspoon because he was, I've got a photograph of him sitting next to my cousin because they both did psychiatry together in Princeton. What are the odds?
Oh, yes. So your cousin is Julie.
Julie Hatterer.
Right. And
so my mother, when she was hauled up in a flat in Vienna after the Anschluss, with all her family trying to escape, she was with Myra Hatterer.
So, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's it. That is the. So my mother told the story of Myra, who was Julie's mother, hugging her as they were separated and never knowing whether they'd ever see each other ever again. I'm sorry to go a bit totes emotion, but there you go. So how weird is that you're on this with me?
Yes, I mean, I just want to make a correction. You know, in the States, so we did undergraduate education together at Princeton. We don't study psychiatry until we go to medical school and then residency. So coincidentally, yes, we both became psychiatrists, but we were friends at Princeton. And in fact, her stepson recently worked for my husband at the Club Norwood. So another connection there. I haven't seen Julie in a while, but I hope I will.
I think you saw her at the Princeton Review. Well, it's one of those weird DumTeeDum connections. So
yes.
I've got my tassels on tonight. So, but I haven't got a party piece. So you're my party piece.
So yes, so I can say Julie is much smarter than me, but that's as an aside. So I do have a little talent. You know. Okay.
Oh my God! So I'm introducing Witherspoon.
Hooray! Come on, Mr. Spoon.
I've changed to black tie also for this. I was wearing my Princeton tie, the orange and the black before for the first hour, and now I've changed to black tie. So we were talking about the presidential election and the president that we dare not speak his name. He has bragged that he took this psychological IQ test in which he scored genius level. You know, in fact, it's what's called a mini mental status exam, and it's scored on 30 points, and it's really just a screening for dementia. So one of the tests in this very brief screening is what's called serial sevens, in which you start from 100 and you subtract 7 and you keep subtracting 7. So he claimed to be a genius and no one is smarter, but I claim that I can do serial sevens faster than the president can. Now, we don't know, but you'll have to take my word for it. So I'm going to, so this is my one and only talent. So here we go. It's over pretty quickly. So here we go. 100, 93, 86, 79, 72, 65, 58, 51, 44, 37, 30, 23, 16, 9, 2.
Boom! What a talent indeed. Quentin, we've seen a right array of talents on display in this episode. So far, who's winning for you?
I was very impressed by Sarah in America, because I think that was a real surprise to actually get out a voting slip and perhaps shape history in front of our eyes is quite something. And I was I was taken aback by that. I think it's really clever, and I just hope it doesn't come down to those dreadful showers that we had in Florida all those years ago in 2000. I don't think it is, according to the polls. So I hope your vote went into the Joe box.
Chad. Not
What?
shards. Chad.
Chad, sorry. Almost.
Not
Chad.
shard glass. You're not
Chads.
back in
You know what I meant? Chads. So I hope it went into the Joe box and not in the Kanye West. I'm sure you got it right. It'd be dreadful if you suddenly look round now and go, oh God, that's the wrong box.
I tell you what,
I'm still slightly disturbed by Francesca's song. I will never watch Gardener's World in quite the same way again, I don't think. It could become the new theme tune, I think, if it was broadcast after 9 o'clock. So for me at the moment, it's Sarah in front, simply for surprise factor.
I like that. I'm inclined to agree with you. Right, I'm going back on to the wide kind of like view. So I'm looking at who wants to go next. Hello, Jan Mitchell, all the way from British Columbia. Hello, Jan. You still those flamethrowers on top of your head, Daniel. They are utterly fantastic.
Come on, Bernadette. We've got to hear from you. Oh my goodness, Bernadette.
Bernadette. All right, you're up, Bernadette. There you go. Can you unmute yourself? I'm hitting ask to unmute.
Right.
There we go, Bernadette.
You know, I'm a DJ, and there is this thing that DJs can't sing. Well, I don't know if I can sing, but I'm going to sing. Cut me off whenever you want to.
All right.
Serious song. Billie Holiday song. Them that's got shall get, them that's not shall lose. For the Bible says, and it still is news, Mama may have, Papa may have, and God bless the child that's got his own. That's got his own. I think I'll stop there.
Yay! I was transported back to some Harlan speakeasy in the 1950s there. You know, I was completely and utterly there with you, Bernadette. Rosa McGlynn, I know that Billie Holiday is one of your favourite artists. So as a Billie Holiday specialist, how do you think our Bernadette did?
I think she's amazing. I was thinking about some Eartha Kitt, to be honest. I mean, the kind of the tonal quality that Bernadette has, I think Eartha Kitt would be a bit of a winner. But she's just that gal can sing. Sing and sang. I just that's good.
Cara, as our resident celebrity judge, how do you think Bernadette did?
I think Bernadette was amazing. This is the problem with talent shows. I can't, with a spoon, I can't do the maths like that. I might be slower than Thingy that can't be named. I cannot hold a note to save anything. So the two of you, I'm just overwhelmed by that talent. I mean, if you want somebody that can tell the difference between Harvard and APA referencing systems, there's my talent. But it doesn't really go for a party. I've got to say, though, with that cocktail making, I have a surfeit of lemons at the moment. So whilst I am making my lemon drizzle cake, I will also be making those cocktails and just hope that the lemon drizzle cake makes it out. But I think a point deducted, though, because these are very hard things to get from the village shop. That was my only concern with that one. Do they have those cherries at the village shop? I think Susan's going to go into a flap.
Would they have an Oklahoma voting ballot as well in the village shop? So that's a big demerit from Sarah then.
Is Rob Titchener on that ballot even?
That is a worry. That is a worry. All right. Is there anybody else who would like to show the mass ranks of DumTeeDum as their talent? Because I know you're all... Oh, okay. Pat Brown, you're waving. And you've definitely had the hat for it. All right. Pat, you're up. Go on. Pat. Yes, we can. We can see you too, Pat.
Well, I was going for the worst entry. I have actually submitted this on as a DumTeeDum, but you didn't play it. So that gives me hope I might win the worst entry. I'm going to play, this is called the Swanny Whistle. And even the best person has no control. So here you go. This is the Archer's theme on the Swanny Whistle. music, but I feel sorry for you.
Pat, you know what? You've stolen the show. You've stolen the show, Pat. Right? It just, you know, you've displayed good lung power, if nothing else. Right? You've got the hat. You know, what can we say? Let's have a hot take on Pat and her swanny whistle from you, Quentin Rayner.
Well, I don't know whether the same thing happened for others, but I missed most of it. It went mute, which was probably a blessing in disguise, I'd imagine, Pat. If it was that awful. The squeaks I did hear were sort of painful. So well done on that score. But I love the way that it was a nod towards. I'm sorry, I haven't a clue on Radio 4. So in terms of nostalgia, it was great. But I was quite relieved that I didn't hear most of it.
I think extra points. That was peak Radio 4, and that gets 100 points from me straight away. Amazing.
Well, Pat, you might have nosed that out into the lead here with that. I must admit, I couldn't hear it either. All I got was the odd squeak as well. But well done, Pat Brown, and anybody with that surname is definitely somebody close to my bosom. Right, now, who is next? Don't want any shrinking violets here. Fiona Powell, I might have to call upon you to do. You can stop shaking your head, missus. Who is next? Claire Asprey, you must have a talent.
Carol's waving. I can see Carol waving with her beautiful riding hat.
Oh, Carol, sorry.
Oh, come on, Carol.
There you go.
Okay, well, I thought, can I sing you a Scottish song? You might not understand it.
Yes.
It's called The Berry Fields of Blair. And it's about, because I thought something with an agricultural sort of bent to it. And so when the berries started, you know, the raspberries picking and the strawberry picking started, and people came from all over Scotland to pick berries. I'll just do a couple of verses. It's quite long, so I'm not going to do all the verses. Okay. The Berry Fields of Blair. When berry time comes round each year, Blair's population's swelling. There's every kind o' picker there, and every kind o' dwelling. There's tents and huts and caravans, there's bothies and there's bivvies, and shelters made with tatty bags, and dugouts made with divvies. There's corner boys fae Glasgow, kettle boilers fae Lochee. There's miners fae the pits of Fife, mill workers fae Dundee. There's fisher folk fae Peterhead, and tramps fae everywhere, all looking for a living aff the berry fields o' Blair.
Good. Oh, sorry.
That'll do.
Oh. I don't know if it's because I've got short-term memory loss, but whatever the last one is, I think that's the best. And I definitely think that was the best. It's amazing.
It was very touching, Carol, and hearing the different areas of Scotland was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Well, goodness, folks. That bar has been set so high now. We've had people voting in the American election to get rid of the orange turnip out of office, so America can again be the land of the free and the home of the brave and be the leader of the free world. We need to get rid of this corruption that's out there, out of office. We've had wonderful Scots songs. We've had Billie Holiday intoned by Bernadette Hawkes. We've had cocktail making. We've had a filthy song which has agricultural roots. Oh goodness, this has been smashing. And I still think the flamethrowers, Danielle, are up there as well. Right. So who is next? Oh, we've also had maths. We had maths, Lonnie B. Ha. Sorry, I don't want to forget your maths and whatever as well. Rapid maths.
Audrey Ann.
All right, you're waving, Audrey Ann. All right, I'm asking you to unmute. Don't you know you need to be by your computer? There you go, smashing. All right, Audrey Ann, who's in Alameda, next to where I live when I'm in California. Go for it.
So I'm going to play a traditional Korean drum. This is called the changu, and this is often played to celebrate the harvest. So a little improvisation. And you might need to adjust your sound.
Wow. Wow. Oh, wow. Wow. Can I just say wow another time? Wow.
Royfield, can I make a suggestion?
Yeah, go on, please do, because I'm speechless.
You know, on DumTeeDum, you always like people to play a rendition of Barwick Green.
Mm.
And perhaps Audrey Ann could do Barwick Green on a special drum.
Well, that's taken as a given. Like, Audrey, and that needs to happen now. That needs. I like the way she spent. She just like sat back down, just like I've exerted myself. I need 5.
You'd have to wait a long time for a meal, wouldn't you, if it's the harvest? Very impressive, Audrey Ann. Very impressive. Yes.
I love that. That took me back to my clubbing days, like the Volks Tavern down in Brighton, which I'm sure Royfield will know what I mean when I say that. But also on my useless computer speakers, it was also a bit like an MRI at times as well. So it was fantastic.
Wow.
I think Rosie wants to talk. Rosie?
Yes, my cat Maisie wants to say hi because she was obviously brought in by the rhythmic drumming. I think something about that just brought her in.
I think she just wants to be fed, Rosie.
She's it was the drumming. So I'm just going to slightly move the camera because it may get a bit of a shot that Francesca's song may have been inspiring. Let's move on.
But with a spoon and his dog, all the pets are appearing now.
They are. Hey, there's Angus Haggis. Right, folks.
Oh, that's Angus
Do
Haggis,
we have?
is it? That's Angus
Yeah,
Haggis.
that was.
Oh, I didn't realise. Ah, hello, Angus Haggis. Can we see Angus Haggis again? He's famous.
He just ran off.
Ah, okay.
Do we have anybody that feels they can go up against that Korean drum? Because that could well be the showstopper. I don't know. Mary McMerryweather.
What about Paul's? I'm not sure. Is Melly on? I thought
there's a she's got the hand wave icon up, so I presume she wants to. Melly, I actually can't see you. Melly, are you gonna contribute? Maybe she's thinking about it. Oh, Cosmo.
Royfield, I think about nothing.
She's there. Hi, Melly.
How are you?
Hello, Rosie Porty. Hello, Royfield.
I'm waving at like a black screen.
I'm having to slum it on my phone on Zoom. I've had to delete all my podcasts. Royfield, you're dumped. You're gone. All your podcasts are gone. To make room.
Sorry. Well, that Ronald Reagan one was very long this week. It was very long. But you don't actually have a talent
honestly,
for us.
that needs 3 lessons.
No, she does.
No,
Melly.
I do.
Okay,
You missed
great.
it. I have just folded teenagers' underwear and socks and have not sworn once. But you missed it. That was my talent.
I didn't quite hear your
I'm
talent. I'm sorry.
Melly, say it again more slowly for a Birminghamite who can't quite get the cadence of your beautiful Scottish accent. Say it again one time, Lovey. Are you still there?
She's gone.
Gone.
And I can repeat it. Do you want me to repeat it in my American accent?
Oh, yes, please.
She says she wins the prize because she's just sorted teenage underwear. Probably she had to sort it while it was dirty, and then she washed it and she sorted it when it was clean.
Okay,
I hope I paraphrased it correctly, Melly.
And she didn't do it. She didn't swear whilst doing that.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, that's up there as a talent, I suppose. Do we have somebody else who would like to round off the show? Okay, so I'm going to nominate somebody then, right? So who hasn't been on? I'm looking at Polo pull-ups. I don't know what you're. Oh, just before we come on to you, I have to say, I have to quickly say hello to Cosmo. Cosmo, can you unmute? Hello, sir.
Good evening.
Hello, Cosmo.
Good
how
evening.
How are you
hear me?
feeling, sir?
Fine. All seems to be well. I haven't yet seen the doctors for the follow-up, but I'm feeling. I never felt ill. That was the silly thing. It was all found out by accident. I had been feeling a bit off, and I am feeling better. And thank you for everyone who made nice comments and all the rest of it. I know Rosie Porty did. I know a few others did directly. But it was a bit of a shock at the time.
Well, no, it's. I can only but imagine you going through that, and and it was really nice to see the outpouring of warm wishes and affection to you on Twitter, then also on the website. You're an important cog of the DumTeeDum machine, sir. So you're not going anywhere anytime soon. We demand that you get better.
Can I have 100% pay rise?
Of course you can. Of course
Thank you
can.
very much.
There you go, Cosmo. Lovely to see and lovely to hear your voice, sir, on our ramshackle show.
I think Darcy was trying to come in, Royfield, but she's
okay.
She was waving, but now I can see her ceiling. I'm not sure if it was a yoga thing or.
Sean, Sean Northey, do you want to give us a turn? There's a little bit of a hand. You've done the hands up thing. Yeah, I can't find you, Sean. So if you can see, just unmute yourself because I can't find you.
Yeah, I'm unmuted.
Oh, there you go, Sean.
I'm on twice. I am. I've had to decamp to the bathroom because my living room's very, very noisy at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But if you fancy, I've got a quick Appalachian folk song, if that will do you.
Oh, that sounds very apt. Very apt.
Okay, I'll give it a whirl. It's called I Wish, I Wish. I wish my baby was born and sitting on his papa's knee. And me, poor girl, were dead and gone, with the green grass growing over my feet. I ain't not now, nor never will be, till the sweet apple grows on the apple tree. But still I hope the time will come when you and I can be as one. I wish my lover had died and set his soul to wander free, that we might meet where ravens fly. Let our poor bodies rest in peace. The owl, she's a lonely bird. She fills my heart with dread and terror, that someone's blood there on her wing, that someone's blood there on her feather. I wish my baby was born and sitting on his papa's knee. And me, poor girl, went dead and gone, with the green grass growing over my feet. That's it. Not the best
well
in the world,
done.
but there we go.
It was out of this world. That background was so apt. So apt. Thank you for that,
Thank you,
Sean. No, thank you, me dear. Thank you, me
Really
dear.
enjoying all this. I'm quite new to it. It's only the second time I've been on Zoom, but they're fab. I love it.
Well, listen. Well, thank you for gracing us with a wonderful rendition of that Appalachian song.
Thank you.
Utterly apt and utterly fitting. Sarah Spilsbury in Sandwell. Hello. You look all dressed up there, Sarah. You look very smart. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, I seem to have unmuted myself.
You look
Yes,
suited and booted.
I am indeed, sir. Yes.
Is that purely just for our our credit, or were you going on somewhere afterwards? Are you coming home from work? Why do you look so wonderful?
Kind of all three. I like to maintain a certain element of style in my day-to-day life. I haven't been wearing this all day. It's mainly for your enjoyments. I will probably be wearing this when I eventually meet up with a old drinking buddy tomorrow. The first time I will be going to a pub tomorrow.
Oh, there you go. Well, you know what? They'll be suitably impressed with your sartorial elegance, Sarah.
Sarah, can you please say Tarara a bit for us?
Okay, then Tarara a bit. Does that mean your slogan now then?
It is. That's your slogan, because you're like a really classy, amazing woman, and Tarara bit is just fabulous.
Well, thank you. I use it on my own podcast that I do, but
what's that called?
I can't claim ownership for it. I nicked it from Frank Skinner years ago.
But what's it called, Sarah?
It's called Histories and Mysteries.
The Prison Mysteries?
No. Well, we are all in a bit of a prison now, but especially in this particular area. But no, it's called Histories and Mysteries, and it deals with arcane facts of historic trivia.
Right.
Oh. Give us one arcane fact, please. That'll be your talent. Come on, let's hear it. Give us one, quick one.
Okay, it's Lee Harvey Oswald's birthday this month, or it would have been if he was still alive.
There you go. That wins. That was an arcane bit of history. Well done. You got a talent. Smashing. And give us the name of that podcast again so we can all subscribe.
Oh, well, I tend to put it out on Facebook. I can put it on the DumTeeDum Facebook.
Please do.
It's called Histories and Mysteries.
Histories and Mysteries from R. Sarah Spilsbury, who, I don't care about Frank Skinner. You coined the phrase Tarara bit. That was all you. It was all you. Right. I think we got space for one more. Susanna. Sorry, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. You look new to all of this. I haven't seen you before.
Yeah. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can. Who are you and where are you?
Well, I'll never tell. I'll give you a hint. I'll give you guys a little hint. You and I just spoke on the phone the other day.
Me?
Yes. Yes, about podcasts.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I'm on a boat. I'm living on a yacht on the water on the west coast of Canada.
Canada. Yes. So many Canadians are with us today at the moment.
Royfield's dating. Sorry, not dating history. Royfield's internet search history is making itself available right now.
I was going to say maybe she's your parole officer, Royfield.
We're trying to rehabilitate him. All right. I'm just like so multi-talented. I'm just overwhelmed. So I think I'm going to instead put Ruby the goat on. Because she really should have won the the flower and produce show, but we didn't get together. I posted a picture of Ruby the goat. She was my renovation project for COVID. Anyway, that's my talent, is renovating goats.
Show her again, because I'm sure that Lucy's not here tonight. Lucy Saunders isn't here. Because you put that's a bit more into the picture. Beautiful. Because Lucy's thinking about doing like a December event, so maybe she could be in that.
Well, you know what? I'm actually I was on a little island in the North Pacific renovating Ruby, and so maybe I'll get some film of her and enter it as my talent. Okay.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
Yes. Well, anyway, hello from the west coast of Canada on the water somewhere. Thanks for the fun, guys.
Thank you for joining us. Right, now, this is the last shout out to anybody who's got any semblance of talent that would like to broadcast it to not only to the DumTeeDummers on Zoom, but to those of us who are on Facebook. There's a couple of hundred people watching on Facebook, and there are a few people on YouTube. So this is going out far and wide. Do not miss this opportunity, folks. Witherspoon, you've got your hand. Is your hand up? No. You were just scratching your temple. Okay. Francesca, word salad is still basking in that. That is a big trombone. You're blowing something big there, Mrs. We're gonna have to put you on. You're bringing up the rear. You started things and you will end things, Miss Word Salad. Unmute yourself. There we go.
You want me to do, but I could do like the whole of the last post if you want.
Give us another 30 seconds. Go for it. utterly perfect. And I tell you what, I just finished watching Band of Brothers today, and I nearly had a little weepy moment right at the end. So that was incredibly apt on a personal level. Right, everybody. Quentin Rayner.
So we could give some flowers to somebody, couldn't we?
Yes, we could. We could. Right. So Quentin. Quentin. This goes out to Quentin, Rosie, and then to Cara. Right. We need to crown a winner. Who's your vote for, Quentin? Then I'm going to ask Rosie, then Cara.
I think I'm right in thinking I heard a documentary about The Last Post, and somebody would probably correct me, but I think The Last Post originally was a piece to bring in the soldiers into the barracks. I think that's how it originated, and then it got transmuted into the way it is used before. So I'm prepared to be corrected, but I think that's right. I wasn't expecting that from Francesca. She really has gone from one extreme to the other, hasn't she? From filth to great contemplation. I was very moved by the songs, actually. They really. It was fascinating watching the sort of the galaxy of thumbnails here. And when somebody starts singing, everybody just stops, don't they? And they become very contemplative and quiet. So it was interesting seeing people's reactions to the songs. So I think it's between the songs, although I really did like Sarah's vote thing. I think that was great. Because for the surprise factor, but I was genuinely moved by the songs, and I think I was most moved and captivated, and I was really sort of caught up by the story and the narrative of Carol's Scottish song. So I go for Carol.
Okay, one vote for Carol. Rosie McGlynn, Rosie Porty. How did you feel about tonight's talent competition?
Well, I would say that sort of with my lovely bunch of flowers here and my cat Maisie, I think it's a bouquet of flowers to everybody who has contributed, and for the bravery of just basically doing it and getting it out there. I think it's amazing, and thank you so much. And it's made it a super evening, and it's just, you know, again, in these times of travails that we're all in terms of the world, we're in a dark time, and so thank you genuinely for sharing everything. I mean, the cocktail hour, the maths test, the Scottish language, the amazing, I think just the kind of the drumming, the beautiful lights that we've been exposed to. I think what I would say is that in the community of DumTeeDum is I was going to say polyamory, that's the wrong word. Don't quote me on that, Cara. It's not polyamory. I mean something else. The growth is even worse. Anyway, so it's been amazing. I have to say, Bernadette, you did it for me. I think your voice is phenomenal. So it's going to be Bernadette for me. But Francesca, I also love you as well. But Bernadette for me.
So vote for Bernadette. It's Bernadette and Carol. Dr. Cara, you're up. What do you reckon?
I loved it all. As somebody that really does not do talent shows, I'm amazed by everybody. I love smut and a bit of archer's finale. So Francesca, absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. Cocktail making, Tov, thank you. I now know what to do with my excess lemons. No pun intended. Anybody that can sing a song, anybody that can do maths, always gets my vote. Those are two skills I certainly don't have. I want to give some special commendations. One, Cosmo, beautiful table manners as I watched you have your dinner. That was amazing. That's definitely a talent. And also to all of those on the Atlantic that are watching us Brits drink. I think that's a talent too. I lack the talent of being able to live on a yacht or having found the lifestyle to do that. So Susanna, a credit to you too. But I've got to say my vote goes to Sarah for a talent that I hope many Americans will share. And that's voting in the right way.
Wow. Clap to Sarah. Now, I suppose I should cast my opinion here, and I've been utterly moved and to the core of my foundation by all of the performances. I love a Korean drum, or more to the point, I didn't realize how much I loved a Korean drum until Audrey deafened me into liking a Korean drum. So thank you for that, Audrey. Yes, I love anyone that can sing. I've been known to warble on the odd occasion, but people that can do it much better than me I hold in very high regard and high esteem. A woman that oh god, I was going to say a woman that can blow on something. That sounded dreadful. We had two women blowing on things, shall we say? And both were done with fantastic gusto, shall we say. But I'm going to give it to Sarah. I think our friend in Oklahoma who...
Royfield, do you mean the award of the best?
The award, stop it. Stop
Thank
it.
God we're over the watershed in the UK. This is just descended.
Sarah for doing her vote on live on Facebook and Zoom and on YouTube. I think not only was it a surprise, it's incredibly apt. It reminds us all of our civic duty, and also it just goes to underline what a weird time that we're all in. And if we have agency over anything, we don't have agency over COVID other than trying to safeguard ourselves from the ravages of COVID, but that disease is going to do what it's going to do. However, our American cousins do have agency over the next 4 years, and it disproportionately affects all of us on planet Earth, whoever sits in the White House. So considering the utter impact of what Sarah did, I'm giving it to Sarah as our very first DumTeeDum Has Talent winner. So big up and big round of applause to Sarah. Well done, Sarah.
Here are your virtual flowers, Sarah.
There you go. Flowers from Rosie Porty. That's it. We've had 2 hours of live broadcasting from my little Airbnb studio here. So if I take this away, wait a minute, get rid of that.
Careful.
It is gonna careful. Oh, there you go. You can see. Wait a minute. That's about as much of the outside world that I've been allowed to see for 10 days there. So I've got another 3 of those dotted around here. But according to Canadian law, you're not even allowed to leave the place.
And Royfield, those are bars on the windows, aren't they?
Those are. I am in lockdown prison here.
So careful, you know.
On behalf of the Canadian people, we thank you.
Well, thank you for allowing me into your wonderful country and then telling me that I very strictly have to be locked up for 14 days. I don't see my kids, but it's totally fine. I'm here. I got in, through these closed borders. So thank you, Canada. Thank you, everybody, for giving up 2 hours of your Friday to spend it with me, to keep me company. It's all about me. It's all about me. I haven't seen so many faces in 2 weeks. So thank you. Quentin, would you like to say some final words, sir?
This has been a pleasure, isn't it? Because we started at 7 and I did think, blimey, 2 hours. Is that going to drag? And it hasn't, because it's now 9:15. So I say credits to everybody who's joined this evening. And we had a thoroughly good, interesting chat with Sunny as well. And we've all had a damn good laugh. And as the second spike appears to be taking over, I think that's what we're going to need even more. So it's not just about the archers, is it? It's about a sort of a community that sustains itself and encourages others to join and supports those. And I think that's what comes across as well. And I just realized how talentless I am, having seen all the talent in front of me. So keep listening, keep tweeting along on Sundays and throughout the week, and let's all stick together and all get through this, and keep voting for Joe.
Absolutely. Rosie Porty.
Let's just say thank you so much to everybody for being here this evening. It's been amazing. And I think that what we've seen is the community that is DumTeeDum, and it's been fantastic. And I think actually just I think where we are right now, I think the kind of folks that are involved in DumTeeDum are the ones that will change the world, because we all believe in a better future. And I'm really happy about that. And I can just see the creativity and the positivity across the world that is involved in DumTeeDum, because we have people from everywhere that is involved in it. And I'm just so grateful for that. And I just think, thank you for people being here this evening. I'm so grateful for that.
Well, I can't follow that, can I? So there you go, everybody. Take care, look after yourselves, look after your loved ones. Don't let the coronas get you. And if it does, do whatever the doctor says, not that fucking buffoon going out and infecting everybody afterwards. Jesus fucking Christ. All right, everybody, take care. See you. There'll be another podcast on Monday. It will be with Kerry and Peter.
Yeah, I would just say big love to everybody out there, and we're all going to be amazing together. Thank you.
I like that.
Sorry, Roy.
That's all right. You're right. You steal my thunder. Tatty bye. Ta-ra a bit. Ta-ra a bit.